I've been doing it again, y'all. Doing what? I've been secluding myself, and I don't want to seclude myself, but I feel, what is this in my brain when like you want to be around people, but also you don't feel like it? Like you want to, but don't feel like it. So I've been in a rut for a couple of weeks, actually a few weeks, where I've been secluding myself. And when I do get around people that I care about and I enjoy being around, I just get this feeling of just being drained. I feel like I need to take a moment and just have some time to myself. Now, what is that? How much time does one need to have to themselves when they spend hours and hours and days with themselves? Hold on. Gotta pat myself dry. So, this is not okay. And I know that this isn't a one-off situation. This isn't just a me thing. This is something that so many other people experience. And it's totally normal for us to go to a place of feeling like we just are like we want to seclude ourselves. We don't want to be with anybody. We don't want to be around anybody. We just want to have that time to ourselves. And oftentimes we call it self-care. So self-care is usually this thing that we do, and it's a part of a process to allow ourselves like that time to regroup, recoup, re what's the word that I'm looking for? When we get that time to ourselves so we can gather ourselves, right? And become like, get it back together. I can't think of the word that I want to use, but I hope you get it. Sometimes we do something physical to get us into self-care. Maybe it's like go work out or go for a run, or I don't know, do something fun. Sometimes we do something mental, whether that's like journaling or just meditating, the bubble baths, the face masks, like stuff like that. The beauty, that's the beauty aspect of it. Damn it, I'm having a fart. I'm having a brain fart. I'm confusing y'all too. That's what I'm doing. So sometimes we can overdo the self-care and we get into a place of like wanting to be by ourselves too much. But we ain't built for that. I'm gonna say it again. We are not built for that. We are not meant to be by ourselves. As humans, we are here for community. We are here to be around other people. We are here to feel enjoyment and see and have fulfillment when we're around other people. Editing brochure here. So I paused at the part where I said we are meant to have enjoyment and fulfillment from other people, but not even just that, not even like the positive things, but like disagreements, healthy disagreements, you know what I mean? Not like full-blown arguments, just like healthy relationships. Like we shouldn't be out there arguing, but if we have a misunderstanding, that's something that helps us grow. Being able to handle things and control our emotions whenever we experience other people and other people bring out different things in us, it ultimately helps us grow. It helps us grow. Every interaction is not going to necessarily be a positive interaction, but it's going to be an interaction that's going to help prepare you for what may come for you in the future. And I feel like sometimes we get to a place where we want to be so self-sufficient. We don't want to allow other people to be the source of the enjoyment, of the happiness, of the love. We're so afraid of having things ripped away from us that we don't want to allow other people to pour that into us. Instead, we prefer to pour it into ourselves, when that's really good to be able to do, We should be able to pour into ourselves, but we also should not pour into ourselves so much and just solely want to pour into ourselves and just cut the world out. There's people that love us. There's people that want to talk to us. There's people that need those things from us. People need joy and excitement and love and physical touch. Like, we need that as people. And I feel like we get into this place where we're too comfortable with being alone. I think the way that I was raised to don't be afraid to do things by myself. Don't be afraid to try new things alone. So I was kind of raised to fulfill myself. And I think I do that to a fault. Now I'm able to identify when I'm really getting into those moods. And I stop myself though. Like, I've always been able to identify when I'm like, okay, I need time to myself. And I get that time to myself. But I stop myself now. And I say, this is not okay because you've been in this cycle for too long. You're not responding to the group texts. You're not checking your DMs. In fact, I flat out deleted like Instagram, TikToks. But this isn't a personal thing, right? I'm not just talking about myself. I'm making this a general conversation, right? But you've got to pry yourself up out of that comfort zone. You got to pry yourself up out of that feeling of just wanting to be by yourself because it's not sustainable. What happens when we are by ourselves? What tends to happen? We start to overthink. Often, when we overthink, the thoughts tend to be negative. The thoughts tend to be very nitpicky. When we're sitting in our space alone with all this time and space and opportunity to just think about every little thing, we can rip ourselves apart and create self-sabotage. I'm not even going to go into that because I went into that way back when I had my podcast. I'll link my podcast for you guys. The episodes are now old, but the words are still very much so relevant. When you realize that you are secluding yourself, and it doesn't take much, just observe when you're turning down the invites and when you have a bunch of text messages that were sent to you and you have not responded to any of them, or you have a bunch of missed calls, unanswered voice messages. Yeah, you've been turning down all of the lunch dates and the brunch dates and the breakfast dates and the coffee dates. You've been turning them all down. So think about how you're feeling in that moment when you're turning that down. You've kind of got to identify what triggers this. I love going to like events. I love talking to people. I love like doing like speaking engagements. But after I've done a speaking engagement, I find myself needing like a week vacay to kind of like regroup. I can identify mine. There are many different things. So many reasons why we could be feeling like we need to seclude ourselves. Oh, another thing that I notice about myself, when my room becomes a mess, that is a dead giveaway that my mind is like frazzled. So when I see that there are clothes on the floor that I have washed, but they've piled up and I haven't hung anything up, then that's like a dead giveaway for me that, yeah, I need to get it together. Get it together, bros. I gotta get it together. When you're feeling like you need to be by yourself, you need to think about what's going on the inside. Oftentimes you're feeling like some type of emotion, and it's deep and it's eating at you and it's literally draining you to the point where you don't have the energy to be around anybody and to tolerate anything else. When you're around other people, it gives you the opportunity to talk to others and you realize that it's not just you. We need to learn how to pry ourselves up out of it and get out of our comfort zone. That's a big thing too, the comfort zone. Get out of it. Whenever we have these talks, I personally experience aha moments. So I've also realized that this happens when, like, I want to be by myself when I find myself in a loop and kind of repeating and doing the same thing over and over again. While I thrive on repetition and routine, I really thrive in environments where I know what to expect. I also like surprises. I like to switch things up and I like to be spontaneous. You gotta make your life spicy. It's your life. You really gotta spice it up. At the end of the day, and I don't want to seem dark, but the life that you live, do you want to be able to say, like, I lived? Or do you just want to be like, oh, I just sat in my room watching TV, watching soap operas. I just sat by myself. Life is also too short. Get around your family, get around your friends. You know what I mean? If you don't have any family near you or friends near you, get out into your community and see the people around. You'll be amazed at who you meet. You will be amazed. Have you ever been somewhere, like to like a grocery store, for instance, and you randomly have a bond with a stranger and it's like, dang, that was a great conversation. Don't exchange numbers or anything, but just remember how that person made you feel. That was a really nice conversation with a stranger. Get out into your community. As humans, we are meant to talk to others. We are meant to communicate. We are meant to have interactions. We are meant to form relationships. All different types of relationships, not just romantic. It could be business. It could be associations. Like, we are meant to get out there and talk. So why are you clammed up? Why are you clammed up? And okay, you've been a clam all this time, babe, but now it's time for that pearl to come on out and shine. You better get out there and quit playing. Because I'm sick of this. I'm personally sick of me like clamming up and like going into my shell and just avoiding interaction. And it's time for me to come on out. You too. Do something different. Quit playing. Those text messages that you have not gotten back to, it's never too late. Even if it's been like, 3-4 weeks and you hadn't responded yet, it's okay to respond back now. People understand. If they don't understand, they're not your real one, okay? If they don't understand that you had to taken a moment, you know what I mean? I don't like to hang around people that put too much pressure on me and like don't understand when I was having a moment to myself. I don't like to deal with people like that. But listen, there's so many people in this world. There's a community of people that you will enjoy being around. And it might not be your direct community, like where you at right now, like where you at, like within the vicinity, but go explore and you'll be surprised. You're gonna meet your tribe. Like, they're out there. We all have one. And sometimes we have like different kinds of tribes that bring out like different parts of us. Like this group over here brings out like the fun me. This group over here brings out like, I don't know, makes me think and feel like scientific and nerdy a little bit, nerdy in the best way possible. Like, I'm not saying nerdy in a negative way, but you know what I mean. This group over here, this the beauty group. This the group that we talking about Botox and injections and fillers and stuff like that. I love my groups, even if we are completely different and we have different stances. And you know what's crazy? The groups where you don't look like everybody looks different. Those are the groups that will surprise you. Those are the groups of people that will surprise you. And oftentimes those are the groups of people that you have such an amazing connection with. Like, damn, I would have never thought that we have all of this in common. This video just went all over the place. But the moral of the story is, I'm here to pry you up out of your shell. Get out there and do something different. I'm gonna wrap it up here. Until next time, I wish you nothing but peace and love. And I hope you took this message with love. All right. Take care.